lot of people say a nudibranch is like an alien.
But the closer you look, the more you realize we're really similar in a lot of ways. I mean, we're bigger, and our lungs are on the inside of our bodies. But other than that, very similar. My name is Johannes. People call me the Nudibranch Man. I've always felt, though, that I don't fully deserve this title. Yes, I know all the Nudibranchs intimately. Name, color, size, what they eat.
What kind of things do they like to eat?
Sponges, anemones, but gloomy Nudibranchs really cheer up for Cheez-Its and pineapple. I spend a lot of time with them, but I'm just an observer looking in on the Nudibranch world. A true Nudibranch man should be one with the nudies, a part of them. In order to live up to my title, I wanted to immerse myself in the Nudibranch ways. I decided I'd dive every day with the nudies and try to mimic them, learn from them, and maybe that way I can truly be the Nudibranch man.
That sounds a lot like the premise for My Octopus Teacher.
They're very different. Nudibranchs are an extremely interesting and ornate form of soft-bodied marine gastropod mollusk. Named as such because their lungs reside on the outside of their bodies. There are over 3,000 different species of nudibranchs in the world. I studied at the Marine Mollusk Academy, where I first fell in love with the nudibranch. I learned how to find them in every condition. Shipwreck? No problem. Reef? Right there. Sand? Boom. Waving in the water column like they're little tiny dancers? Easy. The trick was to look without looking.
And know the differences between each slug, like you know the difference between a cucumber and an okra.
I began to grow my knowledge of nudibranchs with each new species I encountered and shared my findings with other divers around me. The Triompha catalinae was actually named after me. It's a difficult thing to find and observe nudibranchs. So small, and they each have their own approach. For the gold lace, you have to sneak up on it. For the blue dragon, you have to tickle it just above the serrata. And for the gloomy, you have to encourage it with your eyes. I've been searching for nudies for the better part of my life and have found and studied each one that's scientifically known. But to what avail? All the marine animal grants go to the larger and flashier species. There's no love for the sea slug. I wanted to pack it all up and move on, knowing I had nothing left to give. I just couldn't accept myself as the Nudibranch man. One day, as I was putting my gear away, I remembered a legend I heard about a nudibranch called the Nudus stultus. It's the most rare nudibranch in the world, only rumored to be seen once by an old Irish monk, St. Columba, in the year 582. Getting scientific proof of this species' existence would be the greatest feat in the mollusk world. If I could accomplish this, then the world would finally take notice of these wonderful slugs with the lungs on the outside of their bodies. Maybe then, I could be the Nudibranch Man. And so I began my quest to find the never-before-documented Nudus stultus. Initially, I had no leads. I figured I must ingratiate myself to the nudies, and if they accepted, they might point me in the right direction. I tried several ways in which to connect with my Nudibranch friends. I curled over a piece of coral like a Philydia varicosa.
I did the dance of the big kahuna.
I moved just like a blue dragon. I even tried eating anemones and sponges to see if that would begin to make me feel their connection. Unfortunately, nothing was changing. Still no hint of the Nudus stultus. Until one day on a fluke, I forgot my BCD. It was so silly, but I didn't want to miss a day and lose what little progress I had made. So I went down without a BC. And I couldn't believe it. Nudibranchs began to seem more interested. I thought, what's the main difference here? I'd already thrown up all the sponge and anemone from the night before. It must be the lack of a BCD. I figured, okay, I'll give this a shot and continue to dive with less and less gear. This is when it started to get interesting. While the nudibranchs were still being elusive, the eel tried to take a bite out of me. And then the crabs and turtles started to follow me. I just narrowly escaped a few encounters. But I thought, hey, if these predators are having trouble telling the difference, I may be getting somewhere. Even with all of the risk, I had to continue on my path and see where it would take me. Hopefully, to the Nudus stultus. I continued to shed more and more of my gear until it was just me and my wetsuit. It took me a while to get used to losing my mask. I think I may have been observing seaweed a few times before I finally recognized the shapes. Once I had it though, it was really an incredible feeling. Just to be with the nudibranchs in their world and feel as close to them as I'd ever felt. It was exhilarating. Still no sign of the Nudus stultus though. What more could I do? I'd been eating only anemone and sponges for weeks. And diving basically naked. That's when it hit me. Basically naked. Not completely naked. To test my theory, I decided to go to my favorite place to find nudibranchs. I stripped down and joined them in their habitat. Waiting for the Nudus stultus to come to me. I began to feel it. What a nudie is. I was small but fierce, and beautiful but tough. As I spent that time down with the nudies and truly joined them, I realized the nudus stultus is me. This whole time I hadn't realized, but I had been searching for my truest self. I am not the Nudibranch Man. I am the nudus stultus.